What's going on, everyone? I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. It is NFL Draft Week, though. So today's show is going to be about some dream draft targets for the Broncos at pick number 64. We're not going to do your kind of cookie-cutter mock draft or regular plain old Jane, draft targets. How about some guys that we would love to see that are teetering right on the line of whether or not they'll be available when Denver's on the clock? Before we check out my list of 5 players, follow me on Twitter. At Matthew Peterson. I've got the link in the comments and the description. I'm trying to grow a little bit more on the Bird app. We're just shy of 500 followers. My boss said I got to get to 500 or else, and I don't want him to finish that sentence. So hit me up at Twitter, and I'll follow you back. So at Matthew Peterson. My first dream draft target at pick number 64, David Ojabo, the edge rusher out of Michigan. The fact that we're talking about him today is a little crazy because not long ago, he was a mid-first pick in mock drafts. However, we'll look at why he's fallen lately in a second. But last season for the Wolverines, 12 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, really came out of nowhere. Him and Aiden Hutchinson were the best 1-2 punch of edge rushers in college football, and that's partially why they got all the way to the semifinals. Now, why is Ojabo even possible for the Broncos at number 64? If you haven't heard, he ruptured his Achilles really sad during his pro day last month. And there are some GMs out there that go, listen, he's going to be a great player, but I don't want to pick someone who probably can't play all of this season. And what if I'm out of a job next year because I didn't take someone who could actually impact our team this year? And so GMs will go, thanks, but no thanks, because I want someone who's going to play this year, who can actually help us win football games and help me keep my job. I think that's the way a lot of GMs will look at the draft, going, I don't want to help the next GM out by getting them an awesome player that I never got to see really play because after missing his first year and playing his second year, I was out, and that was that. So the Broncos don't even need immediate help at edge rusher, which is why this pick makes even more sense and would be an awesome selection for Denver at 64, because between signing Randy Gregory, you have a rising Ishtar and Jonathan Cooper, Chubb on the last year of his contract, what's his face? You've got Baron Browning moving over from linebacker to edge rusher, and Malik Reed, right? You've got a lot of players this year. It is okay if Ojabo misses all this year, and maybe he replaces Chubb, who's going out potentially as he's on the last year of his contract. So, with that all in mind, who's your dream draft target? Who is someone that you are super high on? You want to see wear the Broncos uniform next year? Let me know in the comment section. Someone I'm pretty high on is Bernhard Raimann, the offensive tackle for the Chippewas at Central Michigan. He was very good at football last year. Again, one of those David Ojabo, where did he come from players? He came from Austria originally, and he started off as a tight end, and now he is a bowling ball, and a very fast one too. The Denver Broncos don't have an immediate gap on their offensive line. I don't know how confident I am, though, in hey, let's have Turner, Anderson, and Tom Compton battle out for right tackle. The winner gets the job, and that'll be that. I want to see Russell Wilson thrive, and the best way to help Russ thrive, keep him healthy. And this offensive line was in that 16th to 20th range last year, just outside the top half. And I'm expecting bounce-back years from Reisner and Glasgow. Hopefully they get healthy because they had some scary injuries last year at points. Kush just had a bit of a bad season. Hopefully you see him rebound this year. And then you got your left tackle and your franchise left tackle and Bowles on your left side. So if you are very excited to see Russell Wilson cook, because I am, and I want to see him absolutely toast the Chiefs, ideally week 1, just to get that out of the way, type 3. Let's spam his number down below in the comment section. My next dream draft target at 64, Boye Mafe, the edge rusher. We're going defense again here out of Minnesota. This is an interesting pick because he has been all over mock drafts. I've seen him go late first round, early second round, but he's slipping a little bit here. He's an athletic freak who has awesome pass rushing skills. Now, he doesn't offer the most in the run-stopping department, and a lot of things that when you read about him are coming back to, there's a lot of things that need to be coached up still. And that's fine, right? That's what you pay coaches to do, and that's why he's not Aiden Hutchinson Kayvon Thibodeau, some of these guys we're seeing go top 10-ish. But Mafe last year for the Golden Gophers, it's the way he can get into the backfield with phenomenal speed very quickly, immediately. He did a lot of great things, a lot of little things that when you watch him as a Minnesota fan, you're like, this guy's going to be special. It may not be translating to sacks and stats right now, but he's a player you want on your team. It's just that, plain and simple, honestly. So I love what I saw out of Mafe last year for Minnesota, and I like to see him move on over to Mile High, right? Like we said, 7 sacks, tackle for loss. He did a lot of great things when he was with Minnesota. If you also want great NFL draft coverage, make sure you are subscribed to our not only channel here, Broncos Breakdown, which we are closing in on 7,500 subs, but also the mothership here at Chat Sports. We are knocking on the door of 300,000 subscribers. I know, the umbrella, thank you very much. So make sure you are subscribed there, and make sure you're tuned in for our NFL draft coverage, because we will be going live for all 3 days, all 7 rounds, breaking down every single pick. So when you see this thumbnail on Thursday night, click on it, because it's going to give you the best draft coverage out there, without a doubt. Next dream target, Jaylen Pitre, the safety from Baylor, who is a very athletic safety, and that's, not something out of the ordinary, but how fun would it be to have Justin Simmons and Jalen Pitre as your safety duo? I have faith in Caden Stearns. Kareem Jackson coming back on the last year of his contract tells me more of a depth piece and, him trying to just boost, we'll say, the depth in the secondary, right? That's what I'm looking for here. But Jalen Pitre last year for Baylor, 7 PBUs, 2 interceptions. Listen, here's the thing about Pitre I like a lot. He kind of fits the mold you're seeing a lot of defenses go towards, especially Evero. He started off as a linebacker in Baylor. Then they moved him to safety. So you can move him all over. He can be a nickel for you. He can be a bit of a Swiss Army knife, right? He's not the next Bryce Callahan. He's not that size of a corner. It doesn't have the speed necessarily, but he's a very versatile player where you can line up all over the place. So I like the idea of finding a nice jack of all trades here for the Broncos in Pitre. Earlier I asked you guys, who do you not want the Broncos to draft? How about who you want the Broncos to draft? How about the opposite this time? Who do you not want Denver to draft? Who is someone that you have watched the tape or you've watched highlights, watched them play last fall, whatever it may be, and you're like, you know what? Everyone else is really high on this guy. I don't know what they're smoking. I'm not a big fan of it. For me this year, this won't really impact the Broncos, but just keep it in mind, I'm not very big on George Karlaftis. Like, everyone's really talking him up. I just don't see it. So, George, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Please don't tackle me because that would really hurt. But let me know in the comment section who you do not want to see George Paton draft. 5th and final dream draft target at number 64, Trey McBride. We're going local, baby. We are going with the Colorado State product. He is the number 1 tight end on most draft big boards. So if any team needs a tight end before the Broncos pick at 64, yeah, they're not going to get him because McBride's probably going to be the first name that goes off the board for the off the board for teams looking for a tight end. Last year for the Rams, over 1,100 yards, 90 receptions, only scored 1 touchdown, which is really weird. But that's college football for you. It just never has benefited tight ends all that much. Once in a blue moon, you get a Kyle Pitts, but for the most part, the way, offenses are schemed and whatnot in college football, it's about speed, it's about moving the ball quickly, and that's just not what tight ends offer you most of the time. There's also something about hometown guys, right? Trey McBride from the Denver area had a visit with the Broncos just because he's in that local area, that it hits different, you know what I mean? It's just something that's like, he's going to come out and be like, yeah, I get to play for the team I grew up watching. That would be awesome. So hope to see it happen. That would be great for the Broncos. Now here are my 5 dream targets at 64 one last time. Ojabo, the edge rush out of Michigan, coming off that ruptured Achilles. Then you've got Raimann, a freak of an offensive lineman, Mafe and Pitre to help out on defense even more, and then Trey McBride just to add a little oomph right to that Russell Wilson-led offense with no more Noah Fant involved anymore. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Matthew Peterson. Like I said, links in the comments and in the description of today's video. Click on it, shoot me a follow. I'll follow you back. We could talk about Broncos, NFL, basically everything. I'm not a one book, I'm not a closed book or one trick pony on my Twitter account. It's fun. Hit me up, and I'll talk to you later with the latest Broncos news and rumors.